I have some very interesting little toys to show you. Just look over this way. After making jewelry for 20 years, a friend asked me to make a little panhead motor earring stud. After making that, I built this. This is a little chopper. It's got all the classic lines, and it's the panhead motor. After I completed this, I took it and showed it to a friend that collects vintage motorcycles. He asked me if I could build something a little larger. And from what you're about to see next, it was brought on by this. This is the first model I built. It's of a 1912 single. The leather belt drive and the bicycle pedals. Here you can see the belt here. All the parts move. Very important feature to me to have all the parts moving. The seat works. This is an example of the detail that I went through to accomplish egads. There's the frame that goes with this. Moving parts also include all of the levers. This is the belt tightening. See if I can even grab this. That would be the clutch. All the suspension parts work. And on the other side, you can see this. That's the exhaust valve. All the hubs are laced up to the rims with spokes set into the tires. It's made entirely out of sheet metal and wire. The only castings are the tires. (1912). This is the 1909 model. There are actually 11 moving parts to this. There's about 269 pieces to make it up. All the little parts that are supposed to move. This one also has the exhaust valve parts. This was the first year of the V-twin, 1909. Without the clutch hub, it's kind of hard to turn the rear wheel, but they do all move. The little seat parts, everything works on it. Again, entirely made out of sheet metal and wire, except for the tires. They are castings. You're now looking at a model of the very first 74 cubic inch motor built by the motorcycle company. I found one photograph of this motorcycle. The picture was taken in 1920. That means that this motorcycle was built in 1919. And as we all know, the JD didn't come out until 1921. all the moving parts on this one, as functional as it is, the Kickstarter, if you look closely at the clutch here, right here in this area, you see how the levers move the parts on that side. The gear shifting lever also moves. The gear shifting lever, which is not really easy to see there, but it is visible. All the moving parts. Turn this around, and you'll see another one, the chain. Handmade chain, about 130 parts. Again, you can see all the little levers that move on this model. As for building the very first 74 cubic inch Harley Davidson, this is what it looked like. The real one probably didn't move as much as that, but there it is. Brake levers, everything works on it. This is the frame to the 1936 EL, or Knucklehead. A lot of research went into making sure this was right, as I have with all of the models. All the tabs, all the brackets, the open brake stop, everything about this is a 1936 EL frame. This is the 1936 Knucklehead completed. You can see the rivets on the oil baffle on the inside of the cam cover. The Kickstarter, which works. All the oil lines are in, banjo fittings. You can see the brake lever here. That works all the brake parts all the way back to the rear wheel. That front end works. The suspension. Steering. There are 593 parts to make this up, all out of sheet metal and wire. No kickstand. Gear shift. Clutch. Handlebars. The chain. parts work. The jiffy stand. Now, as I started this model, it became apparent to us that we needed to have appraisals done of all of these. So, I had already started on this in silver. When I was requested to find out how much time it took me to build one of these, I decided to start over on this one. And this time, we built it in 18 karat gold. This is again made from sheet metal and wire, entirely hand fabricated. All the covers are in white gold, 18 karat. The motor and the frame, the seat, are yellow. The tanks and fenders are of rose gold. The Kickstarter works, the chain moves. The hubs are laced up to the rims. There's 30 moving parts, 593 parts and pieces to make up something like this. There's a detail here of the horn button. If we can try to focus on that. We timed this one. It was 1,026 hours, about 6 months. The rest of them took about as long. I figured that 36 knucklehead deserves such treatment. 18 karat gold. And last but not least, the 1958 Duoglide. First year of the swing arm for the big twin. You notice the detail that went into the building of this frame. The completed motorcycle had over 613 parts to build it. All the brackets, all the tabs, they're all there. The construction of the frame is very much like the real one. The 1958 Duoglide. Again, little moving parts. The suspension works. The Kickstarter kickstarts. to seat posts, all of the little moving parts in this. Where you can see the chain roll through. This one, the mouse trap works. The foot shifter foot shifts. And it's very detailed. All the parts were made from sheet metal and wire. The only castings are the tires and the chain links. Looks like the one parked out in my garage. That completes the viewing of the first 5 models of a set of 10. I'm going to go back to 1903, build that model, including a diorama of the shop, the 10 by 10 shop built in the backyard of the Davidson family in Milwaukee. Then we will go up to the flathead era. Then we'll build a Sportster, the 57. Then we will build the shovelhead and the evolution motor, finally. You're looking at about 5 years worth of work. A lot of research, some almost seemingly impossible.
That doesn't matter anymore, right? Okay.